Yeah. Yo, what's up? We are back after a week hiatus. The Xtra Innings is back. Got a lot going on in Major League Baseball. We got, we're going to get into a bunch of stuff here. We got first off, we got Ronald Acuna on pace to possibly be the fifth guy to go 40 and 40.
Mm-hmm.
We got a guy possibly going to hit 400. What? How do you say his name?
I think I want to say Reyes. Is that right?
Reyes. That's it. I always butcher his name. I'm terrible with that. But he's hitting like 399.
It's insane,
isn't it?
So what's up, Joe? How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, we're gonna get right into it here. I got my man Cowboy Dave with me, and yeah, man, you know what? I'm doing pretty good. You know, last week we took off. I was actually at the Phillies game.
I know, Mr. Phillies Braves over there. I saw you. I saw you.
Unfortunately, it wasn't too much of a happy ending for a Phillies fan. The Phillies have been playing some good ball. I mean, they're 7-3 in their last 10.
Yes, they are.
To borrow a Pedro Martinez quote, the Braves basically were our daddy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you didn't get it. Oh my gosh. First of all, it wasn't a 3-game series. It was a 2-game series because of the rain out. So you can't, you don't know what would happen. Maybe they would have I think they would have took one out there at home. I do.
I mean, possibly. And if there was one silver lining in the clouds, it's Aaron Nola pitched really well.
He did. He pitched really well. Nola's a crazy guy. You don't know what he's going to come up with. I mean, he can go 6 innings and have one bad inning. That's his deal. I mean, that's just the way he is, But he pitched actually well. He did pitch well for you guys, for the Phils,
Well, that you like you said, that's Nola's and ML. I mean, Nola. I always say Nola's the kind of guy he could get 24 up, 24 down, and then the ninth inning give up like 8 runs.
Give up 5 or 6 runs in one inning. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way Nola is. But is he like the quietest guy you've ever seen, Joe? I mean, that guy doesn't say a word. I've never seen. If it's like an interview with him or something, he still doesn't like talk too much.
You know what? He seems extremely quiet. And actually, one of our sales reps at work actually lives in the same building as Aaron Nola. And he said, you're exactly right. He said he's like his neighbor. He said, extremely nice guy, actually really great dude, but very quiet. Very quiet.
You can just tell the way he interviews and and especially the way he pitches. I mean, he never says anything to his players. He just he throws his innings and he just walks back to the dugout, head down and all. But is he a great pitcher? Yes, he's a very good pitcher. It's just sometimes he gets no run support either. I mean, that happens sometimes.
I hear you. I would say he's a very good pitcher.
I agree.
And what's funny? So I actually have the Orioles game on right now because I want to get into some of these young players later. And
well, before you do that, what's up, Fuji? How are you, sir?
Yeah, Fuji. What's up, bro? And I got another comment too. Adam Glenn saying, "What's up, fellas?" What's
Adam,
up,
how are you, man? What's going on, brother?
I was gonna say, Matt. One of the teams, two of these teams I wanted to focus on because I know we focused on them 2 weeks ago. And since then, they've been extremely hot. The Cincinnati Reds and Baltimore Orioles are actually facing off. And Matt McClain just hit a deep bomb to center. And he's one of the young players on that Reds team. That's really been they've lost the last 3. But
right. I was gonna say as well as the Reds have been, as hot as they've been, the Braves cooled them down a little bit, taking 2 out of 3 over there. So.
They did, but I was gonna say Matt McClain just hit a home run, so they're up 2-1. But
okay.
But yeah, here's Fuji right here. He said, Mike Fuji said, "Doing good, fellas, thanks." And then I got Ken Fry, Mets up 4-0. Nemo with 2 home runs.
How long will that last? I know that's what Ken's saying right now.
I know, and so it was funny because last night I was talking about, for all you baseball fans out there, and old school sports in general. We're going to bring back the old. I think we were just talking about this, Dave, but we're going to bring back the old school. Watching Ken's show, The Batcave, actually gave me made me think of it.
Right.
Because he does a great job as a. I want to say, I know they're winning the night, but as a suffering Mets fan this year,
it's rough with the Mets. Oh man.
And I felt bad. I was kind of burying them last night, but for all you fans out
Did
there,
you really feel bad, Joe? Really? Did you really feel bad burying the Mets? Come on, Joe.
I don't, but
I know you don't.
But to all you Mets fans out there, air your grievances with Ken Fry tomorrow on the Batcave. He does a great job.
Check out my man.
And I wanted to say one thing too, is that, like I said, we're going to break out the old school, and the old school is going to be on the 80s era New York Mets, which is going to entail that 1986 team, which, hey man, I got to give them props, dude. As much as I'm a Phillies fan, the 86 Mets team, first off, what a story. I mean, it was like Wolf of Wall Street on the freaking plane. I mean,
what former Philly was on that team?
Dykstra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And as much as I didn't like the Mets, man, I'll tell you, that team, I got to give credit where credit's due. That team had a lot of heart, man. Like, one thing is everybody points to Buckner and the play and all that stuff. Let me tell you something. It took a lot of heart. That Mets team showed a lot of heart. I mean, they were down to their final strike, and guys. I think Ray Knight got a big hit.
Yeah, Ray Knight scored the winning run to win that game.
Yeah.
Sir.
They had a lot of hearts, and then of course Nails. We remember Dykstra from '93 with his big home runs. Well, Mets fans, Dykstra hit a big shot against Houston at Shea Stadium to win one of those games, and so we're going to get in all that. I'm really excited to do that. I think the '80s Mets are a great story, and
they had my favorite pitcher on that team. My favorite pitcher on that '86 team.
What was it?
Everybody, Dr. K, baby. You can't go wrong with Dr. K.
I know. And they also had another guy, Sid Fernandez. Now, he was a little big. He was kind of like a Bartolo Colon before Bartolo Colon. He was like big, sexy. But
they had a great closer, too. Do you remember that closer was, Joe?
Wasn't it Jesse Orozco, right?
Jesse Orozco. Yep.
He got the big strikeout to win Game 7. Actually,
now that I think about it, Joe, there was actually 2 former Phillies on that team, not just one. Nope. Then 3. I forgot one.
Roger
McDowell. Yep, Roger McDowell.
Yeah. Yep. Well, what's funny too, because when we dive into that, one of the downfall that Juan Samuel for Dykstra and McDowell trade, that actually that really hurt the Mets. I remember when they made that trade. Yep. I think they were hoping they were getting the Juan Samuel of like 1984-85 with the Phillies. Mm-hmm. And Samuel didn't really play too good up there. That was kind of a big miss for them.
They had actually. Do you remember who the other center fielder was besides Dykstra?
Mookie Wilson.
Mookie Wilson, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, but anyway, I don't want to I know, because what's funny? I like I said, that's why I'm so excited to bring the old school back, because I could just go.
You got me going, Joe. You got me going now.
I know, but no, like I said, but props to that Mets team. They were extremely excited, and we're targeting the All-Star game week, possibly that I have to talk to Ken about it, but possibly even that Tuesday night. So we'll see.
Fuge is all over it. Fuge is all over it, Joe. Look at Fuge over here.
Yeah, well, Fuge says, when are we doing old school Philly sports? Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Fuge, because I want to get you involved in that, because based off of our Sully Squad show last night, we had Bill Meltzer on. And we were talking about the 80s era Mike Keenan Flyers. And so we're going to work on, I'm going to work on seeing if Bill wants to participate. And Fuge, you can hop on that, John, too. So Get ready because I know he loves that too.
I know we got a big show here, but how was your interview last night? Did it go well?
I loved it. It was really great.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. I thought it went. I mean, well, I thought it went well. I put it this way. I don't know if it went great, but I mean, I enjoyed it. So that's all that matters.
Pooch is ready now, Joe. Pooch is ready now.
Yeah, exactly. That trade was. Oh, here we go. That trade. This is the Dykstra trade. That trade was a steal. Lee Thomas traded Chris James for Kruk and Randy Reddy. Oh yeah, and then I got another one here. Adam Glenn says, I'm a Phillies fan. I don't hate the Mets. I love the Mets on the 80s. Okay.
It's funny how many people like that 86 team. I've come across a couple of people that do like that team. It's funny.
Yeah, that works. Well, it's funny, John. My buddy John Lieb, he used to like that team too back. If you remember, that was before cable.
Yes.
And you used to be able to get the New York stations, the Channel 9, used to be able to get WOR, especially if you were down the shore. Like if you were down Wildwood or something, sometimes you could have the bunny ears and you'd be able to watch like small.
Right. I remember them. Yep, I do. Yeah.
Ken Fry here says, for the Seinfeld fans, Roger McDowell was traded after he spit on Kramer and Newman. It's funny.
That's right. I forgot McDowell was on that show.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I was watching a rerun of Seinfeld tonight, and it was the one where Putty painted himself as the devil, as the Jersey Devil.
I wasn't much on Seinfeld, but I knew a few episodes here and there. But it was,
You know what's funny? I never watched it live. I only just watched the reruns. You know what I mean? Like when it was actually on. It was one of those shows where there's shows that's on and then you don't watch it,
right?
And then years later, like say it's like 6:30, you're eating dinner, and then like you watch it and you're like, damn, this show's the shit. You know what I mean?
It's so funny how Seinfeld was a New York show, but I was a Cheers guy. That was the Boston show, if you remember correctly. So I mean, I was talking about the Red Sox because Sam Malone played for the Red Sox. So it was like
exactly. Miko Spencer with a comment. He says, hey, when Bill himself calls me and says I'm down with the old school about the Flyers. Nice.
That's right.
And then we got Mike Fuji, that 86 Mets team were the toast of the town. Yeah, and you know what's funny? If you remember, the Yankees sucked back then. That was when everything flipped because the Yankees were great in the late 70s. Mm-hmm. The 80s was like old man Steinbrenner was like spending money like a drunken sailor. Yeah. And they making bad trades. Like they traded guys like Doug Drabek and I think they traded Ricky
Dougie. I haven't heard that name in a while. Doug Drabek, he was a pirate, wasn't he?
Yeah. What's that?
He was a pirate at one point, wasn't he?
Well, no, he was, but I'm saying I think he was with the I think the Yankees had him in their system and they traded him.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
We got here. He says, Ken Fry, haha, putty face painting, so funny. And then Adam Glenn says, are you going to do old school TV? You know what? You know what? I'm interested. I'll tell you what. That's all right. Put it this way:
if you're doing old school TV, I'm in on that.
You know what's funny? I would love to do old school TV too, but I got to keep it real. I mean, I can't be on this John like every night, bro. Somebody else might be doing that one. But
it's all you, Saul. It's all you, babe. Saw me talking about family ties and growing pains.
You know what's funny? When I was a kid, a couple kids in gym class used to call me Kevin Arnold. I used to look like the kid from the Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. There you go.
Yeah, they would be like, oh, pass the ball to Kevin Arnold. I'm like, yo, where's Vinny at? You know what I mean?
Where's your brother Wade at?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll get into baseball in a minute here. I know I get sidetracked.
Is this a baseball show, or are we talking old school TV?
We talk everything.
We talk everything on the Xtra Innings show. Absolutely.
Do you remember the rumor? Now, it wasn't true, but I remember back in the day, the rumor was that Marilyn Manson was like, or a couple people said the rumor was Marilyn Manson was the dude Paul from the Wonder Years. That was like a hot rumor.
You know what? I heard that, but that's not true.
No, it's not true. But I'm saying. But no. I remember
that. Mm-hmm. Marilyn Manson was Paul. Paul Pfeiffer was Marilyn Manson? No, I don't think so.
That was the rumor, though. Yeah, no, I mean, So someone said that to me though. I mean,
Hey,
you know what,
I'm a Winnie Cooper guy myself, so I like the Wonder Years. I was big on the Wonder Years.
You know what's funny? So I like Winnie, but there was an episode. Now, obviously, Kevin was really into Winnie, but there was an episode, man. He had this other John on.
Becky Slater, come on.
All right, yeah, I forget, but I remember she was like the John, man.
It was Becky.
Nice.
Was it Becky Slater, the blonde?
I don't remember, but whoever. I mean, dude, I was like, we're going back in the day. I think I was like Kevin Arnold's age back then. You know what I mean? So we're going back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Fuji goes, I'd rather talk old school today than the current state of Philly sports. Oh, yeah. And Ken Fry remembers that, John. He says, I remember the Manson rumor.
Fuji's an old guy. Fuji's an old school kind of guy. You know, that's just how he is, you know.
Yeah, Miko Spencer, my favorite was Winnie from Boy Meets World. That's Topanga.
No, and Topanga was from Boy Meets World.
Yeah, right. No, I knew that.
Yeah, Topanga.
Yeah, but
anyway. Actually, but if we go back to the Wonder Years, which I know we're really going off track here, but it was Winnie Cooper versus Becky Slater, and he wasn't sure which one to go with.
That's okay. All right. You know what? I was gonna say I have a pretty good memory, but I get that. I'm a little fuzzy. I'm a little fuzzy.
I'm a Wonder Years kind of guy, Joe. I like that show. I always did. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it was like a TV show back in the 60s or something, 70s, but it was in the 80s. It was
based on the late 60s. Yeah.
Right.
Back around the time. I think one of the episodes was when they landed on the moon, actually. So it was like that era.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
So, but you know what though? Hey, man, you know what? Let's get. I could talk old school and Wonder Years and all this crap all night. You know, let's get into some baseball here.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
You know,
it's been crazy. Baseball's been nuts the last 2 weeks that we've missed. I mean, come on.
It has. I mean, like I said, we had. You know, I mean, we got some really hot teams. Like we'll go into these divisions here. First off, as hot as the Cincinnati Reds have been, my Milwaukee Brewers are back in first place, so all's well in the world.
They are all's well in the world.
I'm not a Brewers fan, but I've been touting them all year, and they've been kind of like, not really that good. Well, 7-3 in their last 10. They're in first.
Well, your Orioles are kicking it too, so I don't want to hear. Is it Orioles or Brew Crew for you, Joe? I don't know where you're going with this.
Oh, it's the O's. It's definitely the O's. Because the Brew Crew's competing with the Phillies, so screw the Brew. You know what I mean? But I just want to be right on my prediction. Although this Reds team is really good.
Yes, they are. They're playing well. They really are.
Just like Miko Spencer says right here, he says Ella De La Cruz is special. Yeah, that kid is special, man.
Well, if you're looking at the Central, which we were just going to do that, Cincinnati's only a half game back from your Brew Crew, bro.
Oh, I know. No, they're playing great, and they got a kid on the mound tonight. This kid Abbott. Here, hang on. Where am I at here? I got a note here. I'm getting sidetracked. I got a note. Here we go. This kid Abbott, this lefty, because everybody talks about their lineup.
Right.
This kid Abbott in 4 starts, he's got a 1.14 ERA. So he's a really good young pitcher. And also, what do you call it? The Orioles announcer was saying that he hasn't given up, like with runners on scoring, runners in scoring position or whatever. He hasn't given up a hit with runners in scoring position as far as a hit to score a run. Now tonight, the Orioles scored on a sacrifice fly, but his streak's still intact. He hasn't given up a run on a hit with runners in scoring position.
Kid's on a mission, Joe.
He is. So, all right, let's you know what? Let's break down these divisions here. So let's let's do it. Let's start off with the American League East. Speaking of these Orioles,
American League East is tight between 2 teams from what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, so the best, probably. I mean, I gotta say the best division in baseball. And you know what's funny? So I've always said I've been saying all year the best division in baseball is the American League East. And
You've been saying it the last 3 shows we've done, 3 or 4 shows we've done.
Yeah. And we've been saying the American League West, but I'll tell you what, I think we got to start giving props to the National League West, because you look at the National League West.
What team did I tell you, Joe? I said to you, what team's going to come out of that? I said that team, that West. I said, watch them. They're starting to make a run. I told you. What team did I tell you?
Mr. Coconut Oil.
You got it.
Mr. Coconut Oil. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're only 2.5 games. They've actually leapfrogged the Dodgers. So, you know what? Let's start off. You know what? Let's start off with the National League West.
Joe, I said watch the Giants, didn't I? They're hot.
I'm pulling a George Costanza. I'm doing the opposite of what I usually do. All right.
Hey, there you go.
With the West here.
Let's look at that.
Got me all Seinfeld up now. All right. So you got the National League West, which I can make a case as being the second or third best division in baseball behind the American League East.
Yeah.
You got the Arizona Diamondbacks, first place, 47-32. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Corbin Carroll. I mean, not only is this kid in the running for Rookie of the Year, dude, he's in the running for MVP.
We said that 3 or 4 shows ago, Joe. If you remember, we were talking about Corbin Carroll.
Right.
We said this kid's really the deal. I mean, but
I think there's only been. Now, I don't think he's going to get it. I think Acuna winds up getting it if he stays healthy, because Acuna may wind up being the 5th guy to go 40-40, as from what I was reading, if he stays healthy.
You realize he has 49 RBIs already, Joe? That's insane. Acuna, your boy.
Oh, I know. He's unreal, bro. But
insane.
Corbin Carroll, though, has second best odds to win the MVP in the National League behind Acuna. And if he wins it, he would be only the 3rd guy to ever do that. I believe Fred Lynn did it in like 1975 or something like that. And to win Rookie of the Year and MVP, and Ichiro did it in 2001, I believe.
I think you're right. Fred Lynn, wasn't he with the Fred Lynn? I remember that name. Who was he with?
Fred Lynn, I believe, was with the Red Sox. I could be wrong.
Oh, I didn't think it was the Red Sox.
Here, hang on. You know what? I know he played for the Orioles a long time.
I was going to say, I thought he was an Oriole. I really did. I wasn't sure. I don't remember what team Fred Lynn was on.
He was with the Red Sox and the Orioles. I'm pretty sure he was with the Red Sox when he. I'm pretty sure he broke in with the Red Sox, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it was with the Red Sox, 1975. He was rookie MVP.
Okay, I remember Fred Lynn. I don't remember his career that much because I think I was too young for that. But I do remember. I remember the name. I do remember the name.
Yeah, but here, see right here, we got the since we got on the subject, if we're talking about MVP, I mean, you got look at these two guys right here. You got Acuna, the two favorites. I mean, Ohtani in the American League, to be honest with you, I don't see anybody. If Ohtani stays healthy, I don't see anybody beating Ohtani. I mean, Ohtani's hitting 297, 26 homers, 62 RBIs. He's got a 1,009 OPS, and pitching, he's 6-3.
Is this kid the real deal or what, Joe? I mean, seriously.
Ohtani, he's unreal.
Now, I guess my question to you is, or a question to everybody who's watching the show, does Ohtani stay with the Angels or does he go somewhere after the season? I don't know. Are they going to pay him? I
think he leaves.
You do?
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to hear other people's comments on Ohtani because I want to know. I think something's telling me they might pay him, Joe. You never know. I mean, do the Angels have the money to give it? Give him that cash? I don't know.
You find a way to get the money to keep him, and
that's true.
And not just that, pitching wise, he's got 117 strikeouts in 89 innings. So the dude's unhittable. And here,
in fact, I was watching the Angels last night. What a game that was! Did you see the ending of that game, Joe? By any chance?
Adam Glenn says Dodgers. Yeah,
okay, that's a possibility.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Dodgers in a second
here. But last night, did you see that ending of that game last night, Joe? The Angels and I think who was it? Who did they play last night? I don't remember who it was. But anyway, They won it in the bottom of the ninth. It was a great ending. Trout ended up with the slide to home plate. Incredible. And the Angels, I'm telling you, Joe, Angels are coming around.
Yeah,
They're playing well.
we'll get into them in a minute too. And National League MVP favorite, you got Ronald Acuna. He's hitting 328, 17 homers, 49 RBIs, OPS of 971. And like I said, he might go 40 and 40. So,
yeah, you said that earlier today. You were talking about that earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah. Miko Spencer says about Ohtani. He says, "I'm telling you, Seattle. Telling you, watch out, Seattle. The owner from Nintendo has his base there. Asians and Nintendo. Hey,
could be.
Can't argue with it, or I could say the Mets. You know, the Mets have dove into the Asian market many times too. So
yes, they have.
But all right, let's get back into our division.
Let's do it.
All right, the Diamondbacks, first place, 47 and 32. You got the Giants right behind them, 44 and 34. They're 2.5 back. 8 and 2 in their last 10. I mean, is Gabe Kapler in the running for manager of the year again?
I'm not going to say that, but I don't think so. But he's definitely there. I don't think he's going to win it, but I mean, he's turning that Giant team around. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, you got the Dodgers. Dodgers are still hanging tough. Now the Dodgers are only 3 games out. 43 and 34. Now, in all fairness to the Dodgers got a lot of injuries, man. The Dodgers
they do,
really banged up.
and they are 5-5 in their last 10, Joe.
Yeah, so Dodgers hanging tough. They're 3 games out. I know Adam Glenn mentioned Dodgers, and I'll tell you, I'm kind of in agreement with them. I mean, I know the Diamondbacks are playing great ball. If the Dodgers can get healthy, it wouldn't surprise me if they wound up winning the division. Although I'll tell you, the Diamondbacks not only do they have Corbin Carroll from the offensive end of it, but they have 2 pitchers each with 9 wins. They got Zach Gallen with 9 wins, and Merrill Kelly also has 9 wins. So the Diamondbacks are pitching too.
But Joe, here's the thing. I mean, look at this. I know we're not at the All-Star break yet. Yet is the key word. I think the All-Star is July 11th. I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from tonight, actually.
Okay, that's perfect. Anyway, I know that the 3 teams, Arizona, Frisco, and Dodgers, they're all within 3 games of each other. I get that.
Yeah.
But you know what, Joe? San Diego might make a run after the All-Star break. I'm gonna stick to that.
Well, they better because I was just gonna get into them, and in my opinion, them and the Cardinals are the 2 most disappointing teams in Major League Baseball right now. You got the Padres, 37 and 41, only 4 and 6 in their last 10. They're 9.5 games out. So they put it this way: it's getting late early out there in San Diego.
Right.
Colorado Rockies really blow. They're 31 and 49. They're 2 and 8 in their last 10. I mean, they're hideous. I'm not even
16 and a half out of it. They're done.
Yeah, they blow. Thank God they got the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche because their baseball team sucks.
They're 2 and 8 in their last 10, Joe. Not good.
Yeah. What is it? Colorado, that Colorado Denver market has great indoor teams, but you got corny ass Russell Wilson really stunk it up last year, and they got the Rockies who suck. So
don't you know what, Joe? It's funny you should say Russell Wilson because I think he's gonna have a bounce back year this year. I just have a feeling.
I think he could, but we'll see. But either way, their baseball team blows.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go to the National League Central. We already kind of touched on this a little bit. You got the Brew Crew 7 and 3 in their last 10. They're 41 and 37. First place, you got the Cincinnati Reds, only a half game out. They're 41 and 38. They're 7 and 3 in their last 10. Now they've lost the last 3. They had won 12 in a row. They're up 2-1. They're up 2-1 right now in Baltimore, in the bottom of the 7th. So we'll see what happens with this game tonight.
It's funny because I mean I know I'm looking at the Central, Joe, and I know the Cubs are only 3 games out, and this 3-game series with the Phillies could be big for them if they take 2 out of 3. I'm not saying they're going to, but they could.
Yeah.
But that would put them back in the mix. I mean, not that they're not in the mix now, but that would really make that division really tight between those 3.
No, I agree. And a few weeks ago when the Cubs weren't playing well, I was saying that maybe a guy like Stroman would be trade bait, but the Cubs are right in it. If they're not going to trade, I mean, the Cubs aren't making any trades right now. In fact, not only do they have Stroman pitching extremely well, but the Cubs, if you look at earned run average, now you wouldn't usually see this out of a Chicago Cubs pitching staff. They have the fourth. Marcus Stroman is fourth in ERA at 2.47. This kid, Austin Steele, is fifth at 2.62. So the Cubs have good pitching.
Well, I'm sure the Cubs are a little jet lag right now coming from London back to Chicago. So they're playing the Phillies right now. They could be a little, I'm not giving them any, just a little leeway there. I mean, that is a nice ride,
Yeah, well,
coming from London to,
Phillies need this win, so screw them.
Oh, I get it. I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'm with you. But I'm just saying, coming from London to Chicago, they're only 3 games out of the Central. They're still in this mix. I mean, really.
Yeah, and then you got the Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean,
what a team! Yeah, who's the guy who had him 10 2 weeks ago? Who's that guy that I'm looking at? Right.
You know what? I put the kibosh on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You jinxed that team, Joe.
I was like mush from the Bronx Tale. I mean, in Paul Spencer's neighborhood of Johnstown, about a month ago, everybody had their Pirates flags hanging out. Now all of a sudden they already put their Steelers shit out.
The Pirates are being the Pirates, just a little late. That's all.
Yeah, so they're one.
Hey, Joe, matches Malone has something to say to you, Joe. I don't know what it is, but
we said NL Central is still wide open, and then he said, Miko Spencer says, "Wow, speaking of Acuna, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs already in the 5th. Braves up 6-2 on the Twins. Yeah, Braves are
Joe. They're killing it. We'll get to them later, but they're doing really well.
You know what's funny? I feel like I've taken like a hot tub time machine and going back to the 90s where if you flipped on TBS, the Braves were winning like every night back in like the 90s when they had like Smaddox and Smoltz.
I was going to say, are we back to Smoltz, Glavine, and that crew?
What? Because I remember one time, I remember my grandfather I had the Phillies on and I had the flipper and I was flipping channels. I put the Braves on. He's like, damn. He's like, boy. He's like, the Braves never lose. Like every night they're winning. I'm like, I know. Isn't it amazing? I feel like that's what it is now.
Joe, they're a good team. They're tough. They're just tough to beat. I mean, you can sit there and tell me the Phillies, they're not better. The Phillies are just not as good as Atlanta. They're just not.
They're not. But you know what the beautiful thing about baseball is? The Phillies were better than Atlanta for 4 days in October.
This is true. True.
You know what I mean? That's what baseball's become. You get into the tournament, you never know what can happen.
Once you're in, anything can happen. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So we touched on the Pirates, and here's one. Here, hang on. Let's see here. My neighbors already has a Pirates flag and the Steelers flag is out. Yes, that's true. Matches Malone. Do I hear an old school Brave show? Braves in the 90s. Yeah. You know what? I think so. Yeah, I think we should. Hey, you know what? That's one thing that I love about being on the out of the box is the fact that the old school doesn't necessarily have to be in a box per se. You know what
Chipper,
I mean?
Schultz, Justice.
We could do any subject.
Maddox.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? One of the best, that Game 7 versus the Twins in 1991 might have been the most well-pitched ball game I ever saw in my life. That 1-0 game.
Yep, I remember it. Yep, I do.
Jack Morris went 10 innings? 10 innings or not, or no, well, maybe he went 9 and whatever it was, they won 1-0. So
didn't Smoltz pitch that game?
Yeah, it was Jack Morris versus John Smoltz.
Smoltz, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, I just saw something on that not too long ago. I think I forget what they were doing. They were showing something on that game, and Smoltz like, "Yeah, I got this. You know,
that was arguably the best. Here we go. Hey, hang on, real quick. Sully and the Asian Persuasion, Braves. Talking Braves. Yes, that's man. Yes, Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine, the trio. Maddox stats are insane. Matches Malone goes, I remember the Kirby Puckett hit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what though? But it wasn't just that. You had guys like the Braves one. Like I think I don't remember the whole but I think at least 3 or 4 of those games were won in the final at bat. Like there were,
Yep.
like 3 or 4 walk-offs. I think there was like 2 or 3 in Atlanta, and then the last 2 were walk-offs. For Matches Malone brought it up. Kirby Puckett hit a home run
Kirby.
in Game 6. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
off of Charlie Lebrand. I think, if memory serves
Oh,
me right.
wow, you're going back, Joe.
And I just have a knack for useless information. And then,
I remember, Joe, I was only a sophomore back then, so you got to give.
Yeah, I was in 8th grade. I was in 8th grade.
I was a sophomore.
Yeah, what?
Sophomore high school.
Well, you know how it is, dude. When you're young, when you're like in 8th grade, you're just starting out on like the girl phase and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it was like sports back then. Now, if you asked me to remember every game from like when I was like 16, 17, and I was having like Milwaukee's best in the fields, or whatever. Guess what? I don't remember quite every game back then.
That's crazy. All right,
Yeah.
Where are we here? Central? Where are we here? We're still in the Central?
Central, yeah. St. Louis Cardinals, disappointing team, 5-5 the last 10, 32-45. They're 8.5 games out, and they're talking about selling Paul Goldschmidt, possibly, maybe Arenado. Who knows?
I keep hearing that about Goldschmidt. Is he come to the? Are the Phillies into that mix, or what's going on with that?
I don't think so. I mean, I know a lot of Phillies fans, and it is kind of tempting because the dude was the MVP last year, and he is a really good player. But I mean, we're seeing that Harper may want to play first base. So if Harper wants to try to play first base, you're not going to bring Goldschmidt in.
Are they still teasing that, Joe?
They are. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but I mean, we'll see what happens.
This kid Cody's doing a great job. I don't understand. Cody's not doing. He's been playing really well there.
I mean, he came out of Roger Clemens. You know what I'm saying? So he should be too good, right?
He's got a little baseball in him, that's for sure.
Definitely, you know what I mean. So,
no, the kid's actually been playing well first base from what games I've been watching.
It would almost be like Michael Phelps having a kid, and the kid don't know how to swim. You know what I'm saying? Let me think about that, John. Can you imagine that? Like Michael Phelps has a kid, and the kid's like,
my kid can't swim.
They're like, no, man, I don't like the pool.
That's crazy.
All right, so you know what? Let's go to the NL.
It's like Steffi Graf having a kid and can't play tennis.
Yeah, right. Well, especially considering, isn't she married to Agassi? I mean, Christ,
I think is she still? I don't even know if she still is or not. I know she was at one point. I think she still is.
Well, I don't even know, but if they had a kid, that kid should be like friggin' the Tiger Woods of tennis. You know what I mean?
Best tennis player in the country.
Yeah, I mean, watch out, like Nadal and all these other dudes that have all these records, like that dude.
Right.
Kill it,
All right, where are we, Joe?
Right. NL East, you got the Braves 51-27, 9-1 in their last 10. I mean,
about to be 10-1 their next 10.
Thanks a lot, Atlanta, because like I said, before the Phillies played them last week when I went, the Phillies had won like 8 out of 10 or whatever, and they didn't make up one freaking game.
Well, they were 15-5 in their last 20. Fighting Phils, but they didn't make up any ground because the Marlins kept winning and the Braves kept winning.
Atlanta's unreal. Marlins 7-3 in their last 10. They're 45-34, 6.5 behind Atlanta. So they're playing really good.
Are they for real, Joe? Are they for real?
I think they are, and I'll tell you why. Alkin even pitching well. The Marlins have a young kid. We'll get this later. On this one kid right here, this kid Uri Perez.
Mm-hmm.
He's only like 21 years old. This kid, right? 5-1 with a 1.34 ERA. He's only given up 7 earned runs and 9 starts. This guy.
It's insane. It's funny. How the Phillies used to have trouble with the Marlins back in the day. Now it's kind of switched a little bit. The Phillies are like beating the Marlins lately. So
and yet the Marlins are good. Figure that out.
Yeah, I go figure that out. Exactly.
Mike, to touch on the Goldschmidt rumors, Mike Fuji says Harper was taking grounders before this past Sunday's game. And here's my man, Sean Kilrain. What's up, guys? What's up, Sean? How you doing,
Sean,
bro?
what's up? What's up, Killer? What's going on, baby?
got another one here. Miko Spencer says, "Let's go Braves, Marlins. Who would have thought? Odds were not even the top 20 to finish top 2 in division." Yeah, I'll tell you what. If someone had some boy, you know who would have done it? That dude. Who's the dude that travels throughout the country wearing that Marlins jersey? You ever see that dude?
I don't think I have. No.
So I don't know if he's still doing it, but a few years ago, like if you watch like a random sporting event and the Marlins aren't even playing, and some dude would be like behind home plate or whatever wearing a Marlins jersey, or like in the stands of like a big event. That dude probably would have put money on him.
Are the Marlins like the wild card that we didn't see coming?
The one thing though, I think they have a tougher schedule towards the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, Eileen C seeing them. Yes, Marlins fan. He goes to every game with a bright orange Marlins jersey. Yeah, exactly. See now,
I've never seen this guy. Not that I follow the Marlins much, but
that guy and the parents of these young Marlin kids are the only people that believed in the Marlins coming into this year.
Hey, I think the Marlins are believing in the Marlins, honestly, because they're playing pretty good ball lately.
Yeah, Miko Spencer says, reminds me of Mattress Mike, loves his Astros. Yeah, that's true. And you know what? Hey, in all fairness, that Mattress Mike guy, I read something about him. He gives a lot of money to charity and stuff. So that dude's a pretty good dude from what I've read.
And at least are we a three team race here, Joe?
Mike Fuji says Matt's packing. LOL. Okay, cool.
Okay. What do you think, Joe?
Yes, because the Phillies. You said the Phillies are still winning right now.
They were up 2-0 last I checked.
All right, yeah, I'll put them on. The Orioles are in a rain delay, so I was just interested in that game. All right, yeah, I think it. No, I don't think it's a 3-team race. I'm sorry, Dave. I think the Braves are going to run away with this division.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a 2. I think the Phillies and the Marlins will both be competing for the wild card, along with the Giants, Dodgers, and maybe the Reds. Reds or Brewers. We'll see.
Speaking of the Marlins, Joe, they're up 7-1 on the Red Sox right now.
Yeah, they're unreal. I think that's in Boston too.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. I got the Phillies update. Miko Spencer 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0.
Nice. Sean Kilrain says 5. Marsh with another 2-run shot. Nice. All right. Well, yeah, you know what? The Cubs jet lag is kicking in, so that's
jet lag's kicking in. Yes, it is.
Take it. All right. Yep. So we got the Phillies at 40-37. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Hopefully they don't blow this game. So let's hope they're 41-37 at the end of this. And with two more in Chicago and 3 versus the Nationals, if they can hold on to this and get to 4 over 500, I'm hoping they could at worst go 4-1 in the next 5, and then they're over 500 going into July 4th.
Gotcha. That's a possibility. I mean, well, then again, the Nationals are a division team, and sometimes division teams give you a tough time.
That's true, but if the Phillies get to 7 over 500 after the way they started, I'm feeling like they're in really good shape.
And you got 3 solid pitchers coming up today, tomorrow, and Thursday.
Right.
So I think Nola's one. I think Nola's one of them. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Suarez, Nola, and is it Walker? I think it's
Walker. Yeah, well, I think Walker's tomorrow and Nola's on Thursday. That's what it is.
Gotcha. All right. So then we got the Mets. Now Ken Fry said the Mets are winning tonight. Mets have been hideous. 3-7 in their last 10, 35-43, although they might get to 36-43.
16 games out, Joe.
They haven't been this many games out, I think, since 2003.
Been a while.
And the way they lost to the Phillies on Sunday was like atrocious. I mean, what did they do? Hit like 2 batters or something like that?
I got this down. 3 hit batters, 4 runs on 1 hit. How is that possible, Joe? Think about that. 3 hit batters, 4 walks on 1 hit.
You know that's almost like somebody that had like a huge bet on like FanDuel, like went down to the pitcher and was like, hey, remember? Like Pulp Fiction. Like
right.
where he says you going to fall in the 6th, Butch. You know what I mean?
Joe, that sounds like a T-ball game to me. That's a T-ball game to me.
What's that?
That's like a T-ball game to me. I don't know, man.
Here's Matches Malone, vomit-inducing. I guess he's a Mets fan.
That's fan.
I think that's Ken Fry's alter ego, but I'm not 100% sure. And then we got Eileen C says, "Oh yeah, Steve Cohen has a big announcement tomorrow." He says, "Well, yo, if I'm a Buck Showalter or somebody on that Mets thing, I'm kind of a little nervous."
Well, they said that the Bucks, they're not worried about Buck right now.
Well, $347 million payroll, and you got a pitcher out there hitting dudes and losing games. I'd start getting.
I mean, I hear you. I think they still think Buck can turn it around. That's what I keep hearing. So.
Yeah, I'd have a tight sphincter in that dugout, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So we're not going to say the AL East is a 3-team race right now. We're just going to keep it Atlanta. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. And honestly, like I don't even like. It sounds bad to say, but remember, I was saying how like, you know, with the way baseball is, if you get in and you're a hot team, I don't even care about the division right now, bro. Like I was saying, I'm cool.
You want that wild card spot?
I'm cool with being the 6th seed. I'll take the same road as last year. The Nationals bringing up the rear, 30-48, 3-7 in their last 10. They're hideous. They're
rebuilding, Joe. They're rebuilding. That's what they're doing.
They're rebuilding. Yeah, they're like the Flyers of the NL
right.
East.
Mm-hmm.
They did lose last night. I was looking at, like, you know, and doing research before the show. Supposedly there was a horrible call in the Mariners-Nats game.
I was watching that. Yes, they had bases loaded. It was bottom 9. And the pitch was totally outside, and he called a strike, and the game was over. But that would have brought in another run, put him within three of the game. But you know what happens.
Yeah, you know what though, when you're rebuilding and you stink, like the umpires are like, you guys lost. You know what I mean?
The thing was, though, they had bases loaded. Though that was the whole thing of the whole game. You know.
I got you. I got Eileen C says, Fire Buck is a trend up here in New York City.
Ooh, Fire Buck.
Yeah, Fire Buck. I got another one. Matches Malone is Ken Fry, and Ken Fry is the Bat Fry. So Matches Malone is the Bat Fry. All right, cool.
Now we know who Matches Malone is.
And I got one more here. It's about getting hot at the right time this postseason. Any chick can turn into Cinderella at one point in her life.
Oh, stick to your braids, Mr. Mako.
Or as I like to use my bar analogy, Dave. I told you. Did I ever tell you my bar analogy?
I don't think you have. No.
Right. So many women are a 2 at 10, but they're all 10 at 2. You know what I'm saying?
I've never heard that.
Well, it's happened many a time, right? Many a time at a late night at many a time being a late night out. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever works for you, Joe.
Well, yeah.
Or whoever works for that, whatever that person. I had never heard that saying before, but okay.
Yeah, we used to have a guy. We used to have a guy. God rest his soul, man. My buddy Greg Schlecker, dude. He was the greatest guy. Guy. I mean, he was awesome, dude. And unfortunately, he passed a few years back. But he was a great guy. But he had that philosophy. Well, I'll put it that way. Be politically correct.
10 and 2, 2 and 10. I've never heard that before. But okay.
Yeah, well, think about it. It's like the rating system. They were a 2 at 10, but then they're all a 10 at 2.
10 and okay. Are we talking clock?
It's like shallow hell. Somebody touched Tony Robbins touched you with the beer goggles. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I'm just gonna leave that alone, Joe. I'm not going near that.
All right. Yeah, it's yeah. I was gonna say. Well, you know what? Hey, if you do have beer goggles. Okay. And if you do have some beer goggles and you get yourself in some trouble now, by all means, make sure you get a if you have any legal problems, all right, make sure you call Jason Fine. Now I don't know if he does. I was going to use a DUI reference, but I don't know if he does DUIs. But anyway, point is, make sure you get an Uber so you don't get a personal injury. All right. But if you do have a slip and fall, workers' compensation, personal injury claim, make sure you call Jason Fine, a.k.a. Attorney Big Al. He's got 3 offices throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. You could call Jason directly, 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895 or Miko at 267-303-7324. So make sure you give him a call if you have any legal problems. Here's the schedule for Out of the Box Sports. As you can see, there's something for everybody here. And, we got some new shows coming up. My man Mike Fuji's got a show called Philly Flair coming up. Check that out. That's about basically, it's not really about sports. It's about like entertainment, all kinds of stuff going on. We even got a Commanders fan coming up. They're up there, right there. Philly's Flair.
I heard Fuji has a new show coming out. I'm very excited. I can't wait to watch it.
Saturdays, 11 o'clock a.m. So make sure you check that out. We even have a Commanders show coming. I mean, I got to keep it. I didn't even know there were Commanders fans out there, bro.
Washington Commanders away.
But anyway, if you're an NFC East fan, this is definitely a network for you because there's a show on every team. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Dave, you might want to bring this one up. Wrestling fans out there, what's up, Dave? What do you got to tell me about this?
The Atomic Drop Podcast, everybody. Friday nights, 10:30. Me and the Batman talking wrestling, WWE. Check us out, 10:30 Friday nights. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if I keep talking shit on the Mets, Mr. Ken Fry's going to want to atomic drop me.
Atomic wedgie on your candy ass, Joe.
Well, you know what? If he does, I'll be calling Ken Fry. So, yeah, go ahead. I mean, not Ken Fry, Jason Fine.
Jason, you better call Big Al, Joe. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll be calling Big Al after I get atomic wedgie. You know what I'm saying? All right, I got a couple more here. Hang on. Any coffee drinkers out there, okay, make sure you check out Monkey's Cold Coffee. Join the revolution. You could use the promo code OOTBS Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com at the checkout. They're great, dude. The owner, Matt, donates 10% of each sale to the National Pediatric Foundation at nationalpcf.org. So make sure you check it. Make sure you tell them the boys from Out of the Box sent you and Extra Innings in particular. I got one more here. Speaking of my man Ken Fry, this is a cause near and dear to his heart. The original Janes were formed in the late summer of 2019. The home base is out of Cressona, Pennsylvania. So make sure you give them some help. All right. So
how about my man Ken for this softball girl, his daughter's softball team?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, sir.
All right, here. Let me get it. We're gonna get into
he'll choke slam you, Joe, and you'll be on that show with us on the Atomic Drop Podcast on Friday nights.
I know, right? Here we got. Let me get a couple comments here, and then we will get into the American League here.
Sounds good.
Matches Malone says, "What did you guys think of the Angels beating the Rockies 23-1 on Friday?"
Well, actually, it was 25-1. Get it right, Mr. Matches Malone.
Wow. Well, that. Yeah, that
was insane. I couldn't get over that. I think if I'm the who was it, Rockies, I would just said we're done.
Yeah.
I mean, I give him credit for finishing the game, but I don't know. Wow.
They should just have the Little League 10-run rule on that, John.
Right. I mean? Well, or after 7 innings or 5 innings, call it. Wow.
Eileen C says, I know the All-Star game is a joke, but they are in the second phase of voting, and it's mostly Jays, Rangers in the American League East, a lot of Braves in the National League. Well, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense,
Sure. Is Acuna still leading the league in leading in voting? I heard he was at one point.
Wait, what's this?
I said, is Acuna still leading the players in voting? Because he was at one point.
I gotta admit, I'll tell you, I really don't know anything about the All-Star.
No, I think he was lead. I think he was like his numbers were really up there. Yeah, they were.
All right. Well, I mean,
the only reason I know that because my best friend is a big Braves fan, so he tells me all about the Braves. So.
Oh, okay. Well, and you know what? At least he deserves it. Like, one thing I hate is when somebody that has no numbers is first in voting. You're like, damn, dude, come on, man.
He was just down Atlanta for a 3-game series too. He went down there. I think they won 2 out of 3 out down there.
Oh, cool. Hey,
Yeah, he's a big Braves fan.
Miko Spencer knows all about my 10 at 2. He says, so true. Many nights at Real, so many 10 at 2 a.m. I hear you on that. Yo, man, I remember the Everett Express and the Shamrock Shuttle back.
You guys stick to that 10 and 2 thing because I have no idea what that means.
Hang on, got a couple more. Mike Fuji says the war is on soon in the NFC East. Yes, that's true.
Food, stick to your Eagles and go away.
Matches Malone says, go Janes, had a pretty good weekend. Cool. That's awesome. Good. I'm glad
Very
to see.
nice. Love it.
Miko Spencer says, yes, Acuna is 1, Ohtani is 2.
That's what I heard, yes.
Hey, those guys deserve it, though, you know? None of this BS where some dude's hitting like 219 and, you know, somebody just likes the way, you know, the fans like him and the women takes his butt or something. You know what I mean?
Was that? Who was that Philly that made it? Dom Bomb. What was his name?
Don Brown?
Yeah, had one good, had 2 good months in baseball. Makes the All-Star team.
He did. Yeah, he had they had 1 month where he hit like 13 homers.
Right. Never, Dave. I hear you, Fuge. I hear you.
All right, so let's get the American League East here.
Let's go.
We got the Tampa Bay Rays still hanging tough, 54-27. They're 5-5 in their last 10. 34-10 at home. Never thought I'd say Tropicana Field was a intimidating place to play, but
they don't get any fans, Joe. They're still win.
Yeah, I guess it is. Maybe I think the opposition's just falling asleep.
It's really unbelievable because my actually that changed subject thing. But my brother-in-law lives down in Florida. He lives in Bradenton, right?
Okay.
And I one of these times I'm going to go down there. I want to go see the Rays play. I just do. I have to go down there. So he's like, he keeps telling me, "Come on down, Dave. Come on down." I'm like, wait, when I find the time, I will. But right now, I can't.
I got you. Plus, if you're going to go to Florida, you want to go like when it's a little cooler. You want to go like if you go in like July or August or whatever, you're sweating you wake up and you think about moving, you're sweating your ass off, you know.
Hey, Fuge said Dominic Brown's a flash in the pan, Joe.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so then we got the Orioles in second, 48-29. They're 4 games back, but they're only 2 games back in the loss column. So the Orioles are right. Their Orioles are right behind them. They're 6-4 in the last 10.
Actually, they're in a rain delay right now. They're down 2-1. I think that's what I just read. But they're 6-4 in the last 10. They won 3 straight. So your Orioles are playing well, Joe.
Yeah. Now you got the Yankees 43-35. They're 9.5 out. They're 4-6 in their last 10. But of more concern to the Yankees is the Aaron Judge situation because
that? Yeah, his toes all messed up. What's going on with that?
There's not good news about Judge. I mean, what's his face? Aaron Boone was saying that they anticipate him coming back, but you know, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while.
Is that all because when he hit that fence?
I think so. Yeah, he's got he's got like a. I don't know if it's a torn tendon or a partially torn tendon in his toe or whatever, but you know, and if the Yankees don't have Judge for a long period of time, they're going to have issues just even making the playoffs.
That's definitely going to hurt them. Absolutely.
You know? You got Toronto Blue Jays 43-36, 10 games out. They're 5-5 in their last 10.
That's insane to me.
Blue Jays are they're a weird team.
They are weird.
I feel like the Blue Jays have so much talent, but yet they're like hit or miss. Like one week you'll watch them and you'll think they're going to win the World Series, and then the next week you're like, they're not that good. You know what I mean?
It's a roller coaster for the Jays, Joe.
It definitely is. And then you got the Boston Red Sox. They're 40-39. Appears they're about to be 40-40 because they're getting their butt kicked by the Marlins tonight. By
the Marlins, yep. 10-1.
Yeah, so I think we could chalk that up as a loss. So let's just say they're 40-40.
40-40. Yep.
Yeah, we'll call them the Ronald Acuñas.
I think they're a 500 ball club, Joe. That's all they are. They're 500 at best. Yeah. All
right. So then we go to the Central. Speaking of 500, I said this last week, and you know, any AL Central fans out there, if there are many, can definitely debate me on this because I think they're most trash division in all baseball. I mean, they are trash. I mean, look at this. You got the Twins at first. I mean, dude, how you all going to be in first place at 40-40? And they're about to be 40-41 because the Braves are boat racing them tonight.
And the second place team is 37-40 with a game and a half out.
Yeah, I mean, this Central Division's like it's like being the tallest midget in the circus. Let's not spend too much time on this trash division.
That's worse with your 2-10 thing, but go ahead.
Hey, we're not politically correct on this show. Right?
Hey, the Tigers are still 4.5 out, Joe. Seriously. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right. You know what? For the basis of time, let's just go real quick at this division because they don't even deserve it. Trash. 40-41.
Mm-hmm.
Twins 40-41. They blow. Guardians 37-40. 6-4 in their last 10. Though I mean, hey, at least you had a nice 10-game stretch.
This is true.
Tigers 34-43. They're 6-4 in their last 10.
Last 10. Yep.
You're 34-43 and you're 4.5 games out. The division's trash. White Sox 34-46, 6 games out, and the Royals hideous 22-56, 4-6 in their last 10.
Well, we talked about the Orioles in the very like early shows, and we said that they're up, they're just rebuilding. They're just rebuilding. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're rebuilding like. They've been rebuilding.
But in the long run, they do have 2 games over the Oakland A's. So that matters.
The only way, right now, the only way the Royals are going to get good again is if does Bo Jackson have any young kids out there?
I don't know if he does or not.
All right, say a prayer.
I have friends in Kansas City. And they're just like, the Royals who? So it's fine.
It's almost Chiefs training camp. So.
Right, exactly. Right.
It's almost Chiefs time.
Hey, they have a baseball team. They definitely have a football team.
All right. Yeah, unfortunately.
You would know something about that, right, Joe?
Yeah, I know a little something about suffering to losing to a Kansas City team.
I think Fuge would know something about that too, wouldn't he?
We do, unfortunately. Yes. All right, so now we go to the AL West.
Okay.
Texas Rangers, even with the loss of Jacob deGrom, hanging tough, man. 47-31. They have a guy that might win the AL Rookie of the Year in Josh Jung, playing third base. He's killing it.
Yep.
It's just really good team. 47-31, 5-5 in their last 10. They're 5 up on the Astros, though, because the Astros have had a tough little stretch. The Astros are 42-36. They're only 3-7 in their last 10.
Last 10, yeah. But the team behind them is the team I'm watching.
The Anaheim, California Angels, 43-37. Only 5-5 in their last 10, but they're only 5 games out.
That's what I'm saying, Joe. They make with Trout and Ohtani, they're going to make a run. I just have a feeling it's going to happen. I can see it.
So, I'm not an Angels fan, but just for sheer, because I have no skin in the game, I wouldn't mind seeing them add a pitcher around the trade deadline and see what they could do. I think that would be really interesting.
I agree. But my Mariners, okay, they're 5-5 in their last 10.
Yeah,
8.5 out.
39.
But you know what? I'm not counting them out, Joe. I'm not.
Yeah, well, you can't count them out because we're only at the All-Star break. So you can have that hope. I'm going to say I'm going to count them out, but you don't have to.
I'm not going to count them out. No.
They're like your Milwaukee Brewers for me, because you believe in them. You know what I mean? But
your Brew Crew.
Yeah, I think the Mariners might need Ken Griffey Jr. and Jay Buhner to come back in that lineup to make a run, dude. And maybe Randy Johnson too.
Make a call.
Yeah. Speaking of Randy Johnson, by the way, I don't know if anybody out there, there's a Randy Johnson was interviewed for this, but there's a documentary on Netflix called Facing Nolan, and it's all about Nolan Ryan. I'll tell you,
Okay.
dude, it's absolutely tremendous. And,
I'll bet. I can't wait to watch it.
It was really good. And in fact, just for this show, like I went on eBay because I was, it's amazing. Like, you look at the numbers Nolan Ryan put up. Like, I think Randy Johnson's like second all time in strikeouts, and I think he's like 1,000 behind Nolan Ryan, bro. Like Nolan Ryan had 5,000 something strikeouts, dude. It's like crazy.
When you say Randy Johnson, what comes to mind, Joe? What comes to mind? And I know what you're thinking.
The 1993 All-Star game in Camden Yards with John Kruk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That and also, do you remember when he threw the pitch and he hit the bird?
Yes, he hit the bird.
Those two things, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, no, but anybody out there, check out that Netflix thing, man, because I'll tell you, it was great. I watched it last week, and I hadn't seen it. I don't know if it's new or not, but whatever it was, I hadn't seen it, and it was just really good, man. Randy Johnson is professional photographer now, and then Fuji goes. Remember, Nolan Ryan beat Robin Ventura's ass. Yeah, well, they go into that. They go into that in the documentary. It was just really good.
It's so funny because my daughter's softball team. One of the girls she plays with, her name's Rhea. She's a pitcher. They call her Randy Johnson.
Oh, how about that?
Because she doesn't know when she throws the ball, nobody knows where it's going to go.
Oh wow, okay.
But she's actually gotten better. She's doing really better. She's getting better. But when she first started with the team, her daughter, her mom was the head coach of the team, and I was like helping out. And every time her mom put in Raya, she go, "Here comes Randy Johnson."
Oh, that's funny, dude. Well, that's the thing about power pitchers, man. Like they got to harness their control. Like Nolan Ryan lacked control early in his career.
I hear you.
Eileen C with one, yeah. The A-Rod versus Veritek brawl, yeah. I remember that was 2004, I believe, and that kind of a lot of people say that springboarded the Red Sox into their run that year.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing. All right, to touch off the AL West, Oakland A's 20-60, 1-9 in their last 10. So
they were actually, but go back to Oakland for a second. Remember they had that little run, like I think it was like a week or two ago. Was it?
Yeah, well, that ended.
Hey, but I mean that was their season though, man. They had something going there for a second,
Yeah, well, that's one of those. They got lucky for a little bit,
Did we do our power rankings, Joe?
Let's get our power rankings in here. So let's see. You want to go with yours? Let's see. Do we have any? What are our differences here?
I can't even. I can barely see mine on the screen, but okay.
All right, you're on the right, so it looks like you got what?
I have Tampa Bay 1.
Okay.
I have Atlanta 2. I have the Orioles at 3. Texas at 4, which I really those two. I was on the fence between 3 and 4 with those two because I really wasn't sure where to go with it. But I was going to go Texas Baltimore, but I changed it. Okay, I got the Fish at 5, Marlins. No, Fish at 5? Is that right?
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm sorry, Fish at 6. Yeah, okay. San Francisco at 7. LA at 8. Toronto 9. I believe Yankees are my 10th.
Okay. Yeah. Mine's pretty similar. I think I have the Astros at 10. Hang on. Let me take this banner down here. Whoops. Let me see here. Here, now you can see it. My bad.
Now I can see. Yeah, okay. I had Arizona at 5. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. Arizona at 5. Marlins at 6. Giants 7. Dodgers 8. Jays 9. And my Yankees at 10.
Yeah, we're pretty much the same, except I have Houston. I have Houston and Cincinnati in there instead of the Yankees and the Blue Jays.
Right.
So, yeah, but that's pretty much that. And
I don't see the Pirates in there, Joe.
No, you won't be seeing the Pirates in there. Before we get out of here, we usually we already went over the MVP race. We usually touch on some young guys here. the rookie of the year candidates here. So I just want to give one. Here's a guy that's not. There's two guys that aren't necessarily rookie of the year candidates yet, but they're both on fire. The one is the kid Ellie De La Cruz, who we kind of touched on earlier.
Kid's insane, Joe.
He's lighting the league on. He's lighting the league on fire. He's hitting 315, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. He's got 8 stolen bases. So he's red hot. And Gunnar Henderson of Baltimore. In his last 30 games, he's hitting 311 with 7 homers, 19 RBIs. Because I was talking about him throughout the year, and his average was like 190, 200. Well, he's upped his average to 244 altogether. He's got 11 homers and 27 RBIs, so he's really started to come on a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and another guy for the Orioles, they just called up this guy, I believe his name's Mitch Westberg last night. He's one of their top prospects, and he got a hit and an RBI last night. He made a couple good plays at second base. So he's a guy to watch going forward. If you're looking for some young guys, he's a guy to watch going forward.
I got you.
Do you have any young guys that you wanted
to? I did, but you kind of stole mine.
Shit, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You had my guy from the Baltimore. You stole my dude from there.
Crap. My bad, dude.
That's okay. It's all good. It's all good. That's the guy who I was not going to talk about, but it's fine.
I got one that's struggling a little bit. Francisco Alvarez in the Mets was playing really good. But in the last week, he's hitting like 111. But overall, he's playing well. He's hitting 220. He's got 220 as average blows, but he's got 12 homers and 25 RBIs. So, you extrapolate that over the whole season, he's on pace to hit about 24, 25 home runs, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good. I was, like I said, you stole mine, but it's fine. All good. No problem.
Damn, I'm a thief. And as far as the rookie of the year race, I mean,
I still love that kid from Arizona, Carroll.
Yeah, in the National League, unless De La Cruz is like superhuman. I mean, Corbin Carroll's he's hitting 290, 16 homers, 41 RBIs, and he also steals bases too. So
yep.
He's going to be tough to catch. The American League is probably a two-way race right now. You have the guy Josh Jung of Texas.
Right.
He's hitting 270, 15 homers, 44 RBIs. And then you got the kid from Boston, Yoshida's hitting 299 with 8 homers and 39 RBIs. The kid from Houston, Hunter Brown, he's 6-4 with like a 3.5 something ERA in like 15 starts. But I don't see him beating out the 2 offensive players. So I think it's probably going to be one of those offensive players.
No, like I said, I love that kid. I love that kid Carroll from Arizona, though. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I think this is definitely his season. He's having a great year.
Yeah, and like we were saying, he's probably not going to win Rookie of the Year, but like Yuri Perez with the 5-1 with the 1.34. Well, let's just say hypothetically he keeps that up and he gets to like say like a 12-3 with like a 2-something ERA. He'll get some Rookie of the Year votes at the end of the year himself.
I'm sure he will. Yep.
But
it's all good.
Yeah, and we won't be on again until probably.
When are we on again?
Well, I was going to say next week. Obviously, we're not because it's the 4th of July, and the 11th. Right. The 11th, I guess we'll play by ear. I mean, it's the All-Star game, so we might not be back on until the 18th, possibly. So we'll play it by ear. But
okay.
Yeah, and so just to look at this real quick. I mean, we never really go over the Cy Young, but I want to give this guy a shout out.
Who's that?
This guy, Shane McClanahan from Tampa Bay.
Okay.
He's got 11 wins, and he leads the league in wins with 11, and he leads the league in ERA with a 2.23. So if we're looking at Cy Young favorites, especially with having the best record in baseball, it's got to be the Shane McClanahan as a Cy Young favorite.
You think?
I would think so. He leads the league in wins and ERA. So yeah, I mean he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. So Shane McClanahan, right?
Yes, Shane McClanahan.
McClanahan, yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, like you said, he's 11-1. I mean, the kid.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah. He's 2.23 ERA, like you just said. I mean, kid's for real.
Yeah. Hang on 1 second here. Miko's got a question for you. Hey, Dave, what are you cooking tomorrow? Is at 9:30 p.m.
What am I cooking tomorrow at 9:30 p.m.? I'm cooking a Cowboy show. Them 215 boys. Wednesday night, 9:30. Me and the Miko guy talking Cowboys. Tomorrow night, 9:30. Check us out Wednesday night.
Hey, well, you know what? We'll do because I'm anxious to see I'm anxious to see what you guys have in store for my Eagles this year. And
we got surprises coming to you, Joe. Surprises.
Well, I think I told you on my show a few weeks ago. I was kind of nervous because Rob Motti predicted you guys to make the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl.
Oh, they say that every year, Joe.
Well, that's true. Well, ESPN says that every year. Like
right. And you got to deal with Stephen A. Smith every.
I think I don't remember 1989, but when you guys were like 1-15, I think there was some guy in ESPN saying you guys were going to win the Super Bowl. It's like, they're 1-15.
My freshman year, Joe. My freshman year.
Yeah. So, but anyway, any other thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I just think I think teams to watch out for. I still say Cincinnati's hot. They're playing really well.
Yeah.
I hear you, Fuge. I hear you.
Yeah, Rico Spencer, Rob Motti said so.
I'm telling you, my three teams right now to look out for. The Angels are one.
Okay.
The Giants are two. And like I've been saying, they're hot right now. They're playing really well. And my last team is definitely either my two teams are the Phillies, who's playing really well, and I'm gonna stick to your Milwaukee Brew Crew.
Oh, Miko Spencer. Damn, no love for the Braves at number one. No, never mind. Joe does that. Will they sputter? Yeah, damn it. I should have put them number one. Maybe then the Phillies would make a run at the East.
Well, yeah, Joe puts them in there and teams just die.
Yeah. And you know what? All right, well, let's close out here. But real quick, though, since next time we'll be on in the second half of the season, my thing is, the AL Central, that terrible division, is the team is it possible a team's going to win a division being like under 500?
It's possible, very possible.
Yeah,
before we do that, Mr. Joe, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Okay. Actually, I want everybody to answer this if you're still watching us on YouTube.
And by the way, I'm not like Radio Shack. So, Radio Shack is you got questions. I don't know if I'm going to have the answer.
No, I don't care anyway. I mean, I know it used to matter back in the day, and I know it doesn't matter now. But who's going to win the All-Star game, everybody? American League or the National League? I got to know.
Oh man. You know what's funny though? Remember, it used to really matter. Remember?
Well, it mattered because it gave you home field advantage for the World Series.
Yeah. No, I hear you, but I'm actually not even talking about it. I'm talking about before interleague play. I feel like the All-Star game used to matter.
Okay, it did.
Back in the day, like, all right, I'm gonna say the American League wins it because I think the American League's stronger than the National League, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna win.
All right, Joe. So if you go American League, I'll stick to the National League.
Okay, I got a question. I got a question for you, actually. What is your most memorable All-Star game? Because I have one particularly in mind. Do you have a most memorable All-Star game?
Oh man, I think the Tony Gwynn game.
Oh, that's a good one.
Where he came home and they won the game.
You know,
National League won.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know what mine is? Mine's the Bo Jackson one.
Bo Jackson one.
I think it was like 89. Bo Jackson hit like 2 homers or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bo Jackson made it for Kansas City. Yeah, he was unreal.
Yeah, that Tony Gwynn game sticks in my mind a lot.
Oh, you know what? Here, we're about to get out of here, but Eileen has something really interesting. She says, did anyone see this come out? Max Scherzer reportedly open to waiving his no trade clause.
I didn't hear that.
Wow, now I'll tell you what. Now that would be interesting.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't either, but you know what though? It kind of makes sense. I mean, if the Met, if I mean, Steve, if you're Steve Cohen and you're paying $347 million to have a team that's aging and not playing well, maybe you would be open to possibly pushing the reset. And maybe you push the reset, you get rid of a good portion of that salary, and then you go make a run for Ohtani in the offseason.
I can see that. Knowing the Mets, anything's possible. Who knows with them?
Yeah, hey, could Max Scherzer be that addition that the Angels need down the stretch?
Could be.
Put him with Ohtani and in that lineup, all of a sudden, the only thing that makes me nervous, Scherzer's getting a little up there, but maybe he has a couple months in him. You know what I mean?
Well, Scherzer's about the best pitcher. Well, I wouldn't say he's one of their best pitchers right now.
Definitely. Yep. So
that kid Senga too. He's pitching really well.
Senga is actually a bright spot. He's 6-5 with a 3.52 ERA, and he's got 93 Ks and 76.
I guess they say he's one of their bright spots too. I think losing DeGrom was a big loss for them, but that was going to happen.
Yeah. Miko Spencer says Ohtani would be that $500 million for 10 years.
I can't get over that. That blows my mind. That this guy is just that good of a. He's just that good. He's amazing. I mean, pitches, outfield hits for power. What more can you ask for from a player like that?
I hear you, man. But you know what, though, Dave? Hey,
let's wrap it up, Joe.
I was going to say, let's get on out of here, and we'll be back in a few weeks. Like I say, good luck to everybody's fantasy teams, and good luck to all the teams out there except for the Marlins, Braves, Nationals, and Mets.
This team behind me is playing well, Joe.
That's right. Philly's got to keep playing it well. They're channeling Chase Utley and playing well. So
yes, sir.
All right. Have a great couple weeks, everybody. We'll see you after the All-Star break.
Have a nice 4th of July, everybody.
Later.